Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that made this game and are making others, then you can go to Patreon. I'm subscribed for $3. Gets Kamina, Adastra is free, other games as well. So, on the last Let's Play, we broke into the school and found a note there that seems to be a bit suspicious because I think it said something about us not being able to keep secrets, you know, the main character, which is making the main character a bit suspicious on what's going on because the first one was, let's see, it was about the thing in the forest, talked about it, and that was after the death of the person that made the scavenger hunt, supposedly. So they wouldn't have been able to do it. And then this one is in a school that has been, you know, abandoned for quite a while and people have been going into for years. But yet there's a note that for some reason has been left untouched for that many years. So, yeah. Our main character is a bit suspicious, and we did have a dream about us, of a memory of us telling our other friends that, what's his name, Sydney, the person that died, could be a murderer. No, wait, actually, yes, that he might have been the one that shot his dad instead of his dad accidentally shooting himself. Anyways, TJ gets up early in the morning, and they fall in and out of sleep as he moves around the room quietly. The shower turns on at some point, and I hear Jenna's voice. I fall asleep again, and when I wake up, I see Jenna in the corner of the room, sitting at the little table, typing away at her laptop. Let's just make sure our face is alright. Yeah. I stare at her groggily until she notices me. Morning. Still tired? It's almost noon. Jesus. Do people do that? I know a lot of friends that seem to get less than 8 hours of sleep. Me, I love staying in bed, regardless of whether or not I'm hungover or not. I rub my face into my pillow and groan. Guess I was up later than I thought. I forced myself to sit up. Couldn't fall asleep. Yeah, I've been having trouble too. The beds are terrible. I look around. Where's Teach? Hike. What? He went on a hike. I sit there, frowning at Jenna. She types away until she finally notices me staring and shakes her head. I don't know, he wanted to go alone. He's been asking us to go with him all week. I know. I think something's bothering him. Jenna pauses. Well, I know it's the scavenger hunt. Of course, that's what's bothering him. I sit on the edge of the bed, rubbing my face with my paws. This was a bad idea. Jenna goes on typing. Maybe, maybe not. He really wanted to do it. I'm gonna try to talk to him when he gets back though. I stare at my feet for a moment, deciding on whether or not to text him now. Jenna, do you think there's something weird about the treasure hunt? Jen doesn't even look up from her screen. Of course I do. I think everything's about it is weird. I mean, I don't even know if Sydney put those there. Jenna finally looks up at me. Why not? Just everything seems off. Who do you think put them there then? I shrug. I don't know. Jenna stares at the computer screen for a while, not typing anymore. Well, the whole reason we're doing this is because of TJ. This seems to be what he wants to do. And even if that was someone else, if it was someone else that left him there, if it was going to help him, then I'm going to help him with it. Jenna shrugs. And in the end, all of this is a treasure hunt. I'm just, hoping that it ends at the house. Yeah. Jenna goes on typing, apparently done with the conversation, so I finally get up and go to take a shower. Breakfast is long gone by the time I get to the lobby, and what's left are a few dried biscuits. So I have to go to the diner instead while Jenna opts to stay in the room to finish her paper. I sit in my usual booth in the corner of the diner, half-heartedly flipping through the menu. Janice comes over to take my order, and my short answers to her pleasantries keep her from being too chatty. Once I'm done ordering, I sit back and look out the window, watching the bright sun bake the hot desert below. I imagine TJ out there on the trail, trudging along the path under the 100-plus degree heat. Aside from worrying about what he might be going through right now, I also worry that he might pass out in this kind of weather. I can only hope he had the right mind to take along enough water and to make sure to cool off, like he did with me. I looked down at my phone on the table, again considering whether or not I should call him. I think it would probably be good. Maybe text at least? Yo, Teach! Hey man! Smiley face. Wink. Then I set my phone back down and waited there for a response, wondering if I might drive out to the trail myself if he doesn't. That's when I sense someone move up next to the table. I look up, expecting to see Janice, but I met with the sight of a young white deer, his clasped hands holding a folded blue apron. I blank on his name for a few moments, and I'm left with my mouth hanging open like an idiot. Then I remember. Oh, Julian, what's up? Julian smiles. Hey there. My shift just ended, and saw you sitting here. I wait, but it doesn't go on. I don't want to say it, but it looks like he's expecting it, and I can't really find a way out. So, want to sit down? Yeah, sure. Julian responds quickly and slides into the booth across from me, setting his folded apron down on the table. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. I wonder if I sounded a bit annoyed. A part of me hopes that I do, so that he might get the hint like Janice did. But he goes on sitting there, interlocking his fingers and resting his forearms on the table. How are you today? Good. You? Julian shrugs. I've been better. This job is really starting to wear me out, you know? Yeah, I've had a few like that. Well, the book seems nice enough. I don't think I've ever had more than 5 conversations with a guy in my entire life. It was just a regular face I saw through middle and high school, a part of the background. It wasn't until the last few years of high school that I noticed him and TJ hanging out, and TJ was the only reason we briefly interacted. So I'm a bit confused now as why he's suddenly taken an interest. Yeah? What sort of job do you have? Well, I'm between jobs right now. I'm going to school, but I'll probably stock shelves over the summer, like I did last year. So, that job wore you out? Well, no, but my fast food job did. The one I had in high school. I kind of like stacking boxes and putting stuff on shelves. See, I think food service jobs are definitely the worst, so I can see why stocking might be a little better. He breaks off as Janice comes back, setting down my chicken sandwich. Oh, you know Chase, Julian? A little. I know him through TJ. Ah, well, if you see that boy again, let him know that I'd like to have a chat with him. I look up and Janice gives me a wink before bustling off. Okay, last time we saw her, she was seeming worried when to talk and kind of crying a little. I decided to definitely not let TJ know. But anyway, I'm going to school too, over at Mesa, and this diner has some seriously flexible hours, only reason why I'm still here. At least you guys don't seem very busy, even during lunch hour. I nod at the 2 or 3 other occupied tables. Yeah. It's a wonder we're still in business. Probably have to close down in a year or 2. The idea actually makes me a little sad. Look down at my chicken sandwich, feeling a bit awkward at the idea of Julian just watching me eat, so I leave it on the plate for now. Julian leans back and looks out the window. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever have that sense of thing. I'm just the guy that's like, food here, eat. I hate it when there's food out, either getting hot or cold, and people are like, well, we're just kind of standing by, doing social stuff, and I'm just like, but Food. So, where's Tej at? I thought you were hanging out. I get the feeling this is the main reason why Julian is talking to me. Yeah, he went off on a hike earlier this morning. I slept in. Oh, I see. He still do that a lot? I shrug. I don't know. We've only been here about a week. He does a lot of going on hikes, though. I mean, does he do that at CCU? I stare at Julian for a second before I realize what he's talking about. Oh, no, I don't go to CCU. I'm at Pueblo. Huh. So you guys meet up here? Well, I picked him up and brought him here, along with Jenna, but she goes to Pueblo too. I grow a little bit frustrated, having to explain everything to this guy. All I want to do is eat, then go back to the motel and wait for TJ. I see. Well, TJ's my best friend during the senior year, after you and Carl left. We hung out all the time. After you left for college, we kind of lost touch. Yeah, he's not very active on social media. I've only seen TJ post a few pictures since he started classes. A few were of him on college soccer team, and one was him standing over a prayer circle along with an inspirational quote. Prayer circle? Oh, I guess it's like people hold hands or something and pray. But Julian revealing that he was TJ's best friend toward the end of high school coos my exacerbation. I suppose he does have a reason to know what TJ might be up to. He was kind of depressed right after graduation, so I've been a little worried about him. Depressed? That surprises me. I've never known TJ to be depressed. Sure, he's been sad before, but not outright depressed, as far as I know. Maybe I don't know much about him. I thought it might have to do with graduation, but it went on all summer. Oh, well, if you want to talk to him, I can definitely let him know. I gesture at the phone on the table. I also make a mental note to myself that I should talk to TJ too, about everything. Julian smiles. That'd be great. Please do. I think he must have changed his number after leaving. Okay. I hesitate, then pick up my phone to type out a brief message. I just met Julian at the diner. He'd like to talk to you. TJ hasn't texted me back yet. How long have you known TJ? I set my phone back down and settled back in the booth. Since he got here, like in 2001, so 14 years ago. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah, it really is. You guys always been good friends? For the most part. I had times where I was kind of a dick to him, but he's always been a good friend to me. I see. Yeah, we all went through the same elementary school, too. But it wasn't until junior high that I met him in the Bible study. Ah, of course. I always knew about you guys, though. The Echo Kids. The Echo Kids, now on Fox News. Yep, that was us, the weirdos. Julian glances around before lowering his voice. It was a mean thing to say, but this town is kind of messed up. A lot of weird things happen here. You can't argue with that. Julian looks around again, biting his lip. Then lowers his voice another notch. Hey, so this is gonna be a bit weird, and I don't want to offend you, but can I suck your dick? But it's something that's bothered me for a while. I eyed Julian warily. Yeah? TJ told me about what happened at Lake Emma, and a while back, when we had been talking about death and heaven, I feel a bit chill go up my spine. Well, he never actually told me about what actually happened, but I can tell it really affects him. We don't actually know what happens personally, just it was Sydney, TJ, and the lake. Julian pauses, but I don't say anything, keeping my eyes fixed on the table. Now, you don't have to tell me, but if it makes you uncomfortable, please don't. But I feel like if I have a better idea of what happened, I might understand him a bit better. Julian brings his interlocked fingers to his chin to rest on. Good thing he doesn't have hooves at the end of his fingers. That always is kind of weird looking. I'm not going to ask him to tell me, of course. I know it was a long time ago, but I know you can carry stuff like that around for a long time. So if you're not okay with it, then please tell me, and I'll change the subject. I contemplated for a moment, wondering if the bug is out of line for asking such a thing. Besides, he isn't. He's one of TJ's best friends, so in a way, he's sort of connected to it. So I guess he does have reason now. Okay, but please don't bring this up with TJ. Like you said, it still really affects him. Never. Julian looks at me solemnly. I think for a moment, gathering my thoughts. It's been a long time since I thought of the story from the beginning to end. It's around August in 2003. It was a little bit hard to remember. It's a little bit hard to remember. What I do remember is that we'd all gone down to the lake to swim, like we did almost every week. Keep an eye on the audio. We seem to be good. There was this little spot in the beach, where the beach kind of curves in, and it's mostly sand and shallow water. That's where we'd usually go to hang out and swim. Even though the water was always sort of stagnant there, it was at least safe and warm compared to the rest of the lake. I think at some point one of us wanted to go and skip rocks. We had to go further up the shore to do that, and TJ was more interested in building sandcastles, so he stayed behind while the rest of us went up the beach to find rocks. When you go up that far, you can't really see that spot anymore, so I'm not completely sure what happened. I vaguely remember looking back at TJ as he went up the beach. The lynx bending over his castle, the back of his wet, slim trunks covered in sand from when he sat down. Sydney went with us. I at least remember that. But while we were skipping rocks, he just sort of disappeared. I glanced up at Julian for a moment and see him listening attentively before I looked back down at the table. Anyway, we heard some splashing and shouting from TJ, and we all got up and we all ran up to the beach to see Sydney floating out in the lake. I swam out there and got him, too late though. I don't mention that part where TJ was crouched in 3 feet of water, staring at Sydney's body, floating 20 feet away from him. I don't tell him that TJ's explanation of what happened always amounted to Sydney stepped out too far into the water. That maybe the current knocked him off balance and pulled him in. How he even said that it almost looked like an invisible shark had grabbed Sid and pulled him out. How none of it makes sense at all. None of us are sure what happened. It seems to be enough that for Julian though, as he shakes his head. I'm very, very sorry to hear that, but thank you for telling me. All I knew was that a friend of his drowned in the lake. He didn't tell me how close he was to it. That makes sense why that would still deeply affect him. No problem. I realize that Julian is probably the first person they've ever told that story to outside of Echo. Now, you mean the friend group, or what? Because isn't he part of Echo? I also realized that it wasn't hard to do it at all to do. I suppose it's easier to tell someone who isn't related to the incident, someone that has no connection to the raw horror of that day. That, and a lot of time had passed. I wonder, I feel like Sydney would be quite a bit stronger than TJ, but I'm wondering if the situation is that TJ and Sydney got into a fight, like Sydney snuck off to have a fight with TJ over something, probably the secret, and then TJ flipped out and accidentally, or purposely, killed Sydney. Or it could have just been an accident. Who knows? We might. I mean, the game's finished. It would be a real bitch if they were like, and we're not going to say what actually happened. And a lot of time has passed. Maybe I just got over it without even knowing. But yeah, Echo's a crazy place. You know about the mass hysteria thing that happened 100 years ago? This place is kind of famous for that. Yeah, they did talk about it earlier in this series. Almost all of the paranormal podcasts I listen to have an episode on it. It's going to be very interesting how this plays out in the smoke room. My heart skips a beat as I suddenly remember my project. Fuck, I completely forgot about it. Cover my face when I pause. Shit. What's wrong? Did I say something? Income-faced, see Julian looking at me with some concern. No, I just forgot some schoolwork that I need to get done. A project. The excitement around the scavenger hunt completely wiped the thought of it from my mind. Oh, what kind of project? A news report on Echo and that mass hysteria incident. I've barely done anything on it since I first got here. Hey, that's kinda cool. Do you need help? I blink, the monk's eagerness surprising me. For the first time, I think I see him become embarrassed. The skin on the inside of his ears turning dark red. So is that a thing that happens? Insides of ears become red? Because that's a trope that I see quite a bit, and I'm not sure if it's an actual thing. Because, furries wouldn't be able to blush because of the fur. So, it's something that's always interested me, so I've got a little excited. I glance down at my phone and see that I still haven't gotten a response from TJ, so I get an idea. Despite my initial annoyance, I like how considerate Julian is about the whole lake incident. I also want to give him a chance to see TJ before the end of our trip. Well, actually, I've been meaning to get some footage of the mine, or at least the opening, since it's sealed up. And apparently there's a cougar that died down there because GamerWolfSix was a stupid mother hubber and clicked the wrong choice. If you want, we can head up there to get some shots at the same time, and at the same time look for TJ. The trail is in that area, and I'm referencing the Let's Play of the smoke room. Julian perks up. Hey, that would be really awesome. Thanks. Do you want to eat first? I look down at my sandwich, then shake my head. I'll just eat it on the way to the motel. Oh, I got my truck. I can drive you over, and there's a bunch of room if you need it for your equipment. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. Just let me get a to-go box, and we can leave. Kind of miss my old apartment in West Texas. Nice and quiet, except for one neighbor that was there for a year that was loud and annoying. But anyways, 20 minutes later, we're heading up to the narrow canyon toward the mine. Yeah, we can keep it extended. 23 minutes is enough. I haven't been there in years, but the dirt road leads straight to it, so I don't even have to look it up instructions. Julian chats away while I eat my lukewarm sandwich out of a foam to-go box. While there's almost a robotic quality to the buck on how articulate he is also really nice. I can certainly see why TJ would call him a friend. The Ren'Py road curves upward, and finally we get to the mine. There's a wide open dirt space for parking, along with some concrete barriers along the edge of the drop-off. There's a few signposts, probably giving a brief history on the mine, and then there's TJ's body. Okay, I was gonna joke TJ's body, but then it says there's TJ. The lynx is sitting at the opening of the mine, right at the entrance. He's leaning back against a rebar grid that sealed the entrance. What the? Julian stops talking and looks over at me, then at the direction I'm looking. Whoa, is that Tej? I don't say anything because I realize how limp the lynx looks, his head tipped back, his paws limply laying on the ground. I get out of the truck before Julian can even park, my to-go box spilling out onto the gravel as I jog towards TJ. TJ, hey, what's wrong? You okay? Lynx doesn't respond, and when I get to him, I see that his eyes are open, but they are rolled back to the point where I can only see white. I bend over him, trying to help him sit up better, made more difficult by his bulky backpack getting in the way. Am I doing this? I feel a rush of cold air from the mine blowing through the rebar. I ignore it at first, focus on trying to get TJ to respond to me, but then I realize there's a hissing sound to go with it, like someone exhaling. I glance up through the grid, but I don't see anything. I don't know, pull out the water and pour it on TJ's like if he's hot. Still, I get the unnerving feeling that the opening is breathing somehow. Is he alright? Julian shouting, running up next to me, turns my attention back to TJ. Look down at the lynx and see his ears twitching around. Oh, what? I crouch down next to him, pulling my paw behind his head to give him some support. TJ, what happened? Are you okay? TJ turns to me, blinking in confusion. Okay? What's wrong? He rubs at his eyes with the back of his paw before adjusting himself so that he can sit up straight. You're just sitting there. You almost looked... Julian pauses. It looked like you were passed out, or something. TJ finally focuses on this, the dazed look on his eyes disappearing. Passed out? Oh, no, I just took some peyote. Or some drug. I was just taking a quick nap. TJ lets out a short laugh and leans his head back against his backpack. What? Here? Look back at the sealed mine, the ominous blackness still seeming to yawn open at us. Why? Well, it's harder than usual today, so I started to feel like I was going to pass out. I thought it might be a bad sign, so I started to rest once he got here. You came here on purpose? Yeah, I saw the canyon with you last time, so I decided to take a trip to the mine this time. TJ smiles lazily at me as he continues to lounge against his backpack. Sorry, I worried you and... Oh, Julian! TJ seems to suddenly realize that the stag's here. What are you doing here? TJ quickly gets to his feet, sliding his arms out of the straps of his backpack. He hugs Julian, the stag hugging back just as enthusiastically. TJ doesn't even greet me so intimately. I guess they have more of a history than I thought. Ooh ooh. Hey Tej. Yeah, I met Chase at the diner. You weren't answering your text, so we both decided to come up to find you. And Chase needs some footage for his project. Oh cool. Do you need help with that, Chase? TJ turns to me with a grin. I don't know what it is, but TJ acting a lot more chipper than he was yesterday. That almost dark broodiness is gone, replaced by his usual cheer. I have to smile because of it, despite the situation just a few minutes ago. Sure. Another breeze of cool air seems to whoosh softly through the rebar. Look back at it. TJ, why the hell would you sleep right next to a creepy mine? TJ frowns. It was really cool. Like, cold. I was laying in the opening and felt some cool air blow out, so I decided to lean against it. It feels really nice. TJ walks up to the metal grid and spreads his arms out, clutching onto the bars as he presses his face against it. He leans his head back, pulling a face. Well, it smells really musty, ooh, but it feels good. I look back at the opening, the darkness inside sending chills up my spine. I think back to when a body was found in there over 100 years ago. Oh right, are they talking about that one guy? Even though I know there aren't any dead bodies in there now, it still creeps me the fuck out. I try to... and by that I'm meaning in Echo where you self-defense a person. I try to hide my stutter as I turn away, looking back at the truck. Hey, so are we going to Sydney's old house now? Is that why you guys came to find me? TJ is trying to hide it, but I can hear the eagerness in his voice. I turn back to look at him, the lynx now with his back to the mine, pressed up against it. I want to tell him to move away from the opening, but I wouldn't be able to explain to him why. Well, let me get some filming done first. I can do... the voiceover later, so it'll be quick. I held back a wince as I realized how much time that's also going to take. The project is going to be shit at this point. can't avoid that. I just need to make the least shit the least shit that I can. Oh yeah, sorry. TJ laughs nervously, then looks away. Sorry, I'm just a little loopy from my nap. You guys really surprised me. It's okay. I'm gonna get my equipment ready really quick, right? TJ nods at me as I jog off to the parked truck to grab my camera. So TJ might still be acting a little weird, but I'm just glad he seems to be happy again. Seeing him in a way that he was last night was a little unnerving to say the least. Scoop up my camera bag from the bed of the truck and head back, slowing down to walk as the heat is already starting to catch up with me. Now TJ was able to go on several hour long hike is absurd to me. It almost seems foolish, especially for someone like TJ, who knows about how dangerous it can be. When I get back to the mine entrance, I see Julian and TJ sitting with their backs to either side of the opening, chatting with each other. They're eating granola bars, and TJ holds one out to me as I approach. Thanks. Hey, TJ? Huh? TJ looks up at me instantly. If you're gonna hike again, be sure to bring me next time, okay? I don't think you should go out alone here. Oh, yeah, sure. His ears drop a little, a small frown on his face. I just don't want you to get hurt, you know? It was really hot today, and it would have been really terrible if you passed out alone. Yeah, sorry. I drop my bag gently on the ground before leaning back against the wall next to the lynx. It's all good, I just want to make sure you're okay. Heh, thanks. I didn't want to wake you up this morning. Jen offered to go with you, didn't she? TJ sighs quietly, looking away into the mine. Yeah, but I could tell you guys don't want to go. I just don't want to ruin this trip for you more than I already have. What? TJ, what are you talking about? TJ goes quiet, then shrugs his shoulders. Maybe he isn't back to his old self after all. I wouldn't mind going with you, TJ. I love hiking. Julian smiles gently at the lynx. For some reason, I feel a tiny tug of annoyance in my chest. It's stupid, but I was the one who offered first, and I'm the one who took TJ out the first time. So Julian, he's mine, not yours. Yeah, we could both go. The point is, you don't go alone out next time, alright, Tej? Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. No problem. A short silence stretches out between the three of us before Julian speaks up again. We were just talking about our old Bible study group. TJ leans his head back against the wall, rolling his eyes. It's an expression I don't see from very often. What about it? Oh, just the way TJ would always take it so seriously, and no one else would. TJ shakes his head in exacerbation. Yeah, I never had any control in that club. Oh, really? Were you in charge? It's a little odd to think of TJ in a leadership position like that. I just never knew him to put himself out there in high school. Yeah, I revived it after it sort of went defunct for a few years. Wasn't all that popular. TJ smiles with some embarrassment. Yeah, we had like 3 other members, not including you or me. Yeah, then one dropped out after like 2 meetings. Julian clicks his tongue. What a godless school we went to. Hey! You know I'm kidding, mostly. Well, I didn't want atheists to join too. I did, sorry. As long as they weren't disruptive. I just wanted to show everyone what a nice experience it could be, even if you didn't believe. A very vague reminder TJ invited me to the club, and me saying they'll think about it. I never went, of course. Wasn't all that spiritual in the end, though. Yeah, mostly just talked and brought snacks. It took TJ a while to realize no one wanted another Sunday school session at actual school. Yep, hours of planning out the window. It was still a great time. I think the 4 of us were happier for it. Yeah, I guess. TJ seems to suddenly notice me. Ah, sorry, Chase. You wouldn't know much about that stuff. It's okay. It's interesting to hear about. Again, I get a little twinge of jealousy, even though I know it's not fair. I chose not to show up, probably using that time to go home and hang with Leo. You know, Netflix and chill. He didn't miss much, just discussions about movies and watching movies too. Certain ones, if you know what I mean. They couldn't even be religiously themed. Thank God. Hey. I laugh at how indignant TJ is. Well, I'm glad you had a good time at least. I came away thinking the whole thing was a failure. I think I remember you mentioning that you wished your friend would have shown up. I don't really remember. Of course you do. You say it all the time. TJ's ears flatten and turns red. Who? Me? Yep. Julian grins as TJ tries to look away. Well, the situation is kind of funny. Now, I feel even worse about how never showing up. Sorry, Teach. You know, it was high school and all. Yeah, I understand. Don't worry about it. You're too busy sucking dick. So, did you start another club at your new school? TJ smirks. It's a Christian school, so there's like 50 clubs about religion. Oh, are you a member of any of them? A few. Which ones? A singles club? Ooh, woo. Singles? As in finding a date? Sure. Looks away again. It's hilarious how bashful he is about this stuff. He's in college. All of this should be natural to talk about, but not with TJ. You met anyone? Hey Chase, don't you have to film some stuff? Looks back at me with a frown. Whoa, just asking. Julian chuckles quietly. I bend down and start pulling out my equipment, deciding that a few long shots with a tripod would be enough. As I'm extending out the legs, Julian asked TJ about the hike. Was it fun? TJ shrugged, finishing the last of his granola bar and brushing his paws together to get rid of the crumbs. It was okay, just really quiet. I wince as one of my pads gets pinched between metal. Kinda creepy, to be honest. I would like it if you two went along sometime, if I do it again. Of course. Yeah, definitely. Over the next 20 minutes, I set up the camera in 3 different spots, getting about 1 minute of film each. TJ and Julian sit in the truck while I do, and whenever I glance at them, they seem to be animatedly chatting and laughing. Once it's done, I sigh, and quickly snap the legs back down into the bag, along with the camera. I see my to-go box in the dirt, and consider packing it up, but I don't, because I'm a litter bug. Drop the bag into the truck, again before hopping into the passenger seat, leaving TJ to sit between the two of us. Ooh, like he always liked to be. They go quiet as we start pulling out into the dirt road. I think with that thing and us being a bit over time, we're gonna call it. So, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So comment, guys, I like comments, and you like, dislike, tips, or always, if you like my YouTube and like seeing grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the first type of grow, and please remember Spain or animals that have control the pit population. It looks like there's a belly there. And until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. And if you want to play this game, free on the Chio. And if you want to support them, it's on Patreon, or the people that make it are on Patreon for $3. So, or more. So thanks and see ya.